Here's a scenario. Be me, working hard in the back of Target, making boxes. A thought hits me. I want to play Monster Hunter, but I don't want to use a switch axe. Crazy, I know. So I go home and I pick up the longsword for the 10 times its rise. Fun ensues. I'm happy, but I want more. I need more. So I pick up the insect glaive. French noises, pogo stick. I have even more fun, but I need even more. So I pick up dual blades. Easy mode. I turn off my brain. Fun for days. Be me 2 weeks later, I think to myself, man, these weapons were bangers back to back to back. And I have 10 more weapons to choose from. No matter what I pick next, I'm sure it'll be just as good as the previous ones. So I spin a wheel. It's too fucking easy. It's way too easy. And decided to look at GunLance. It always seemed like a unique weapon that I would enjoy. I'm sure it'll blow me away and I'd have so much fun with it. I was very wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the GunLance, the poke 'em, choke 'em, bonk 'em, fucking blow 'em up weapon of everyone's favorite poaching simulator, Monster Hunter Wilds. This thing is fucked. Someone at the guild, looking at you, Werner, saw the lance and then thought to themselves, hey, guys, I want to put a missile on this. Can I put a missile on this? Is that legal? I'm putting a missile on it. They definitely said no and offered 2 years of psychological evaluation, but both are most definitely ignored, and this mess is crafted. I'm gonna keep it a buck, sports fans. I probably just suck with this weapon, but oh my days do I hate it. Not only does it remind me that I actually suck at this game, but it takes its whole barrel and slaps me on the face with it and reminds me that there are other play styles. And I thought not having Maximite on the dual blades was bad enough, and now you're gonna tell me that the shelling doesn't even do critical damage? That's a bullshit!
But Koi, the fact that GunLance doesn't rely on critical damage is good because it allows for build variety, so not all builds are the same.
Shut up! It's got the fire, it's got the power, it's got the shield that can withstand the laser of doom and despair as long as you have a specific meth rock slot in it. It has enough girth to take up half of my screen so I can't see within 5 feet of myself, and above all else, it's got... Okay, it has aura. Alright, I admit it. It has aura. Hopefully by the time I'm done with this video, I can sit back and actually jump into using a weapon that isn't as pitiful as this one. But I can only imagine that scenario taking place within about a year when the expansion decides to drop in my face and send me back to RT gambling hell. But before that happens, let's get ourselves strapped in with your favorite snack and drink of choice. Preferably water, you dehydrated fucks. And come with me on this journey to master the worst weapon to grace my hands. Before I talk about the GunLance's moveset, we actually got some things that I need to discuss first because this is probably the most unique weapon I have discussed so far. If you take a look at the GunLance UI, you'll notice 3 main mechanics: shelling, wyvern fire, and wyvern stake. Your most important tool is your shelling type, and you have 3 types: normal, wide, and long. Normal shelling holds the most shells in your GunLance, giving you more booms to make. Wide shells make your shelling attacks and wyvern fire attacks stronger, giving them even more oomph. Long shells make your warp stake cannon stronger and are therefore useless. Your wyvern stake is a little screw that you should keep shoving in the weapon's back pocket, which you stab into the monster's left kneecap and jackhammer it like concrete. If you do a full reload instead of a quick reload, you will get the stake back along with your lost shelling. Wyvern fire is where shit gets real, and this is where a good chunk of your damage comes from, and they give you 2 charges for it. You plant your knee into the ground as your GunLance takes a long drag from its Siggy, and once it's had enough, it lets out a big boom that ends with massive damage. Unlike shelling and your stick, this doesn't get recharged by reloading. You have to actually attack the monster normally to get your wyvern fire charges back. Fun fact, do your second wyvern fire shot directly after the first one makes the second one charge up faster. Do what you will with this knowledge. The GunLance comes as a double package, lance and gun. The lance, that's probably in case you didn't know, is where 1/3 of the moveset comes from. The lance can poke, poke, and poke again. Sometimes it can even slam down. It can occasionally slash upwards. Each attack does fuck all damage. You may as well be hitting the monster with the left pinky toe, and you'd probably do more damage that way instead. That is, until you remember you have a gun. Yes, the gun. Lance has a gun. I know, it sounds absurd. The gun on the gun. Lance can, you guessed it, shoot things and penetrate the monster's body, doing less damage per shot. Yeah, no, Werner did not calculate this weapon properly. Why am I fighting with a goddamn party favor? After certain moves, you slam the GunLance down on the monster's head, giving it a minor headache, and you 2 options. You can either begin the worst weapon combo in human history, yes, even worse than Longsword's Red Gauge combo, or you can whip it out, and I love that shit. If you're playing smart, you may notice that the monster likes to hit you, like, a lot. So in most cases, you'll find yourself just unloading that shit to quickly get away before getting concussions so massive you think solo leveling is peak anime. Instead of splurging, you can do a large sweep attack that gives you 2... Oh my fucking god. Two options. Option 1. You stake the lance deep into the monster's skin and drill the stake into its rectus femoris muscle, doing what is essentially DOT damage for a couple seconds.
That stands for damage over time, if you didn't know.
Option 2. Torture. You do a big burst of shelling damage. If your shelling's reloaded at this time, by the way. Reload both the stake and your shelling, and do yet another burst of shelling damage before finishing off with the jackhammer. As enticing as the damage shown appears to be, this move is pretty risky if not done at the proper time. Why? That's why. Don't forget, this is supposed to be an alternative choice to the lance, so of course it has to have a shield. Guess what the shield does? Come on, it's a shield. It blocks things. What do you expect me to say? Oh, wait! After performing a perfect guard with the GunLance, reloading right after allows you to perform a quick reload that acts as a full reload, giving back your shelling and your stake. Along with that, you will be building up enough perfect guards to perform the second coolest interaction right behind offsets. Power clashes! This is the first weapon in the series to have a power clash and my first time experiencing one. I know, I have over 500 hours in this game and I am only now having my first power clash. Leave me alone. Directly after you win the power clash, you are given enough time to follow up with a wire fire attack as long as you do it exactly after the power clash, so make sure you do it if you really want to maximize your damage. Or don't. It's entirely up to you. What, do I look like a guide on how to play each weapon optimally? I just ramble about weapons on the internet for fun. I didn't even talk about Marathon Dual Blades video, like, don't look at me for actual advice. We've gone over all the important stuff, so let's jump into a new topic. Weapon and armor skills you'd like on your GunLance. Let's start with the main thing. All affinity buffs, throw that shit out. Half your attacks can't even do critical hits, and the other half that can aren't even worth building around anyways. Attack boost. It's in the name. It raises your attack stat. You'll want this skill, no questions asked. This is not up for debate either. If you want your wire fire to do insane damage, you'll want as much attack as possible. Artillery. Strengthens explosive attacks like shells, wire fire, and sticky ammo. Also a skill you'll be slotting into your build, and also the most infuriating skill because for some reason, charge wave files get buffed by this skill, but not switch axe files. Now that is some real bullshit. Again, not up for debate. Put the skill in now. No, like right now. Go do it now! Load shells. Improves reloading and increases the GunLance's shell capacity. When at max, it adds one extra shell to your weapon, which means even more damage from your big boom combo. Offensive guard. Temporarily increases attack power after executing a perfectly timed guard. You'll be hitting a lot of perfect guards, and unlike attack boost, the increase you gain in attack is always at percentage instead of a flat number, giving you even higher output. Slot this in if you're smart. Agitator. Increases attack power and affinity where large monsters become enraged. We really only care about the attack boost here, and monsters are enraged a majority of the time you hunt them anyways, so if you want it, it's there. If not, no big deal. Guard up. Reduces damage taken when guarding and allows you to guard against ordinarily unblockable attacks. This one is mostly up to you, but if you want to block against an attack like the Omega's laser, then you will definitely need this skill or else you will be eviscerated. But that's not all, because we still have 2 armor skills and the usually expected armor type skill. Doshoguma's Might. Temporarily grants attack after successful power clash or offset attack. It's in the name, and an option if you want even more damage. Jindahad's Revolt. Increases attack power after recovering from web status, frostbite, being pinned, or power clash. Also in the description, and it will stack with Doshoguma's Might, so it won't hurt to slot this into your build. And finally, the biggest baddie in the build crafting verse, Lord's Soul. Boosts attack and lowers defense. You know what? I'm not reading the rest of this. You know what Guts does. Everyone wants Guts. Get to grinding and get Guts. For your RTN rolls, you'll always want to go for raw attack and sharpness stats, as shelling and wire fire melts through your sharpness like they're LARPing as dual blades, and also make sure to Gogma enhance them to get even more boost to your stats. Your shelling type that you Gogma reinforce is entirely up to you, but I personally decided to go for normal shelling. With everything said and done, the necessary skills and tech accounted for, what else is there to do? You know how this goes by now, so sit back and keep sipping your water. I'm gonna go use the bathroom. I know you're probably going to ask me how I feel about the GunLance after everything I have said about it, and if I were to be honest about how I feel about it, I would say I don't really hate it. GunLance plays at a pace that I, up until this video, have been unfamiliar with. It's slower than the last 4 weapons I've used, is built differently than those weapons, and plays entirely different compared to them. Am I the biggest fan of GunLance though? Admittedly, not so much. It is fun to dabble in it from time to time, but if I had to choose between it or the last 4 weapons mentioned, I would choose one of the 4 more often than not, as I just find myself having more fun playing with something like Longsword and Insect Glaive more than I do the GunLance. In short, it just isn't my type of weapon. But that doesn't mean that the weapon itself is bad. Every weapon can be good and is good if you're willing to put in the time to learn it and, in some cases, master it. I didn't think I'd like Insect Glaive originally because I wasn't used to using a weapon that didn't have a strong counter like the switch action longsword, but I found myself falling in love with it because it played in a way that was still appealing to me even though it lacked something that I was so used to having, along with still being played at a pace that I was already familiar with. But maybe you like the GunLance, maybe you like its slower but stronger attacks, and guess what? That's okay. That's to be expected. If you like something, don't be ashamed of liking it just because some random goober online doesn't. You're going to kill your own enthusiasm for whatever you like that way. Thank you for watching, and sorry for being late. I've been too busy playing Dragon's Dogma 2.